welcome to the Women's Biz Tribe Success Summit. Those of you who are just tuning in, welcome, big welcome. My name is Annie Gibbins, CEO of Women's Biz Tribe. We have had a few speakers kick off our summit. We've got 44 speakers over the next couple of days. So if you've missed any session, just go back and watch replay. #replay if you're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you are. Make yourself known to us. We'd love to meet you. We'd also love to see you over in Women's Biz Tribe Facebook group, any of our webinars. We are a super, super fun global community, and we are very, very excited about you being here today. I am going to introduce you to our next speaker. Her name is Phetso Ntsowe. I'll try and say it right. She is a mother, a mentor, and a friend. She's super passionate about making a difference in people's lives. She's very informative, she's insightful, she's inspirational. She's also the founder of the Botswana Women LeanIn Network, which is a network that aims to equip women in Botswana with confidence and professional and leadership skills, because that's what we actually require if we're going to be leaning into that empowered future and becoming effective leaders. She's also an ambassador for I Am Remarkable, which is a Google initiative which empowers women. She'll be able to share a lot more about herself. I'm going to hand over to you. Welcome to the summit, Phetso.
Thank you so much, Annie. It's a pleasure for me to be here tonight. It's 7 p.m. here, by the way. So good evening if you're in Botswana, if you're in the Southern African region, and good morning to everyone else. So yes, it's so exciting for me to be here. And once again, Annie, thank you for the opportunity. I'm looking forward to the summit. And yes, I'm here today to really talk about authentic leadership. So Annie, do you have my slides ready? Great. Thank you, Annie. So the concept of authenticity was explored partway through the 20th century, with the rise of the human potential environment. The emphasis on exploring and developing human potential has led to much thinking, debate, and research in this area. I guess a lot of you here have heard about the term authentic leadership, and possibly you've been wondering, what does this mean? What does it take for me to be an authentic leader? And this is an opportunity for you today to get to know what authentic leadership is and how you can practice it in your own life. Whether one considers authenticity in leadership as useful or just a fluff, it is a topic that is likely to be the subject of further interest, discussion, and research in the coming years. So let us explore what authentic leadership means and how to become an authentic leader and the benefits that it presents. So authentic leadership, as the phrase suggests, is made up of two components: authenticity and leadership. So let's explore each of these elements, starting with leadership. Many books have been written on leadership, and I'm sure you have many books on your bookshelf, written on leadership, and some of them you haven't even read yet. There is a whole range of theories, styles, and models. So when one talks about leadership, words like, my presentation is a bit slow to load. Let's wait for the next slide. So words like role, followers, strategic direction, culture, management, and training, they pop up. Leadership can be viewed and defined in a range of different ways. Leaders inspire others to follow. Leadership is concerned with long term, that is, strategic direction and making decisions in the face of uncertainty. Leaders are role models and influence culture through their actions and behavior. And when one talks about leadership, you cannot miss the word management in there. Leaders do the right thing, whereas managers do things right. Effective leaders are congruent, meaning that their actions and words are in alignment. So that is just a very brief view, an overview of the term leadership. So now let us go into the word or phrase authentic leadership. So when you look up authentic leaders like Steve Jobs, Richard Branson, their names pop up when you Google or search authentic leaders. Those are some of the names that pop up during the search. But what is authentic leadership? Authentic leadership is about being true in your leadership endeavors. The main difference between authentic leadership and other forms of leadership comes from two elements. The leader has a good understanding of that true self. That is what we call authentic leadership, when you have a good understanding of who you are. The leader brings out that true self to their leadership role. So you don't just keep that true self within your boundaries, you impact the community around you. So this Abraham Maslow, a psychologist, developed a hierarchy of needs, and at the highest level of this hierarchy was the concept of self-actualization. So, to be a self actualized individual, it is necessary for you to become self aware. The individual, or you need to become aware of what is as the external environment. So, that is one of the components of what an authentic leader is. They are self actualized. And an authentic leader is someone whose motivations, in part, come from within. We will later on see that there is intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. For an authentic leader, motivation is a larger part of their internal self. Authentic leaders can act in coherent and congruent way over a period. They say similar things repeatedly. They make decisions that are based on the same principles and values over time. And so those around them will start to see a level of consistency and predictability. So an authentic leader, you don't say something today, then say something different the following day. You are always saying the same thing day in, day out, week in, week out. However, I want to emphasize that this does not mean that the decisions are always easy or welcomed by others, simply that they are consistent and dependable. So, authentic leaders are likely to be able to explain the thinking behind their decisions. So, people will challenge authentic leaders, but because they know what they stand for, what they believe in, they are likely to explain the thinking behind their decisions. Authentic leaders have a strong sense of their values and principles and how they want those around the world to see them, and also to see those values and principles being enacted in the world. Another thing is that authentic leaders are more likely to focus on the long term and do the right thing to make a difference in the world, rather than just simply meeting the short-term financial metrics or the financial needs of an organization. In short, an authentic leader is someone who walks the talk. When you say, "This is who I am," your actions, they speak in alignment with what you say. So, developing your own authentic approach to leadership could be both good for you and for your organization or for your business if you are running your own business. But is it worth the investment? Someone could say, okay, that sounds really fancy, but is it really worth my time? Should I really invest in being an authentic leader? And my answer is a definite yes. So if you can find work that does not require so much energy from you because it feels natural and easy to you and has a purpose and direction rather than feeling like a futile exercise, then you have the promise of a more happy and sustainable working life. And that is all about being authentic. It's all about authentic leadership. You need to find meaning in what you do. Work doesn't have to be so bad that you need to be compensated for the hardship that you have endured. Instead, you could be paid in recognition of the value that you create. You need to feel like you have created value, and out of that value that you have created, you are compensated or recognized for the value that you have created. In a world where increasing transparency means that there is nowhere to hide, social media on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, the prospect of being caught out, not forgetting what's up. People forward a lot of information, videos via WhatsApp. So the prospect of being caught out and having your errors and mistakes broadcast via social media to all those that know and like may fill you with horror. So when you're an authentic leader, you don't take chances to act in unethical behavior because you don't want any kind of negative comments. You don't want to be associated with any kind of negative comments, and you value your reputation a lot. Becoming an authentic leader can mitigate this risk because what you say and do in the outside world is also what you are thinking and feeling in your inside world. So you are not pretending to anyone. And most importantly, you are not pretending to yourself. You will no longer have reasoning and opinions that you are trying to keep secret from other people, or actions and decisions that you are embarrassed or ashamed of. And finally, authentic leadership opens up the possibility for you to enjoy work so much that your pay becomes a secondary reward, with the main reward being the satisfaction and pleasure that comes from the work itself. Maybe it also comes from the knowledge that you are creating something of value for your family, for your community, or your customers and the wider world. So when you have found that authentic space in your life, you enjoy your work and it doesn't feel so much as work, and the pay that you get, it's really a reward, because for something, for value that you have created for yourself, for your family, and the larger community. So the advice to know yourself is really a thousands of years old. But knowing yourself at the deepest level is not easy, as we are complex human beings with many aspects to our character. Self-awareness is critical to becoming an authentic leader. The better you know yourself, the more likely you are to find the right role, increase your self confidence, remain consistent, connect with others, and have exceptional complementary skill. So, you know, peeling, knowing yourself can be compared to peeling the layers of an onion. If you see on my screen there, you possibly are wondering, okay, why is there an onion on the screen? So knowing yourself is more like peeling back the layers of an onion as you search for your true self. The outer layers are you as you present yourself to the world, such as your facial expressions, body language, and attire. Beneath those outer layers lie your understanding of your strengths and your weaknesses. At the core of your being is what you believe and how you envision your place on earth. Self awareness is only half the challenge. You still have to accept yourself. But self awareness, accepting your authentic self but with self awareness, accepting your authentic self becomes much easier. And by accepting yourself just as you are prepared to interact authentically with others who come into your life. With the center of your compass solidly grounded in self awareness and supported by self acceptance, you are ready to focus on your values and principles. So, in gaining a clear awareness of who you are, you must understand your values and the principles that guide your leadership. Staying centered on your values is not easy. You can easily drift off course as the temptations and pressures of the outside world pull you away from your mental center. But if you are centered through a high level of self awareness, your compass can help you get back on track. Leadership principles are translated into action. Principles enable you to prioritize your values and demonstrate which ones trump others. After defining your leadership principles, you then need a clearer understanding of your ethical boundaries. So you need to define your values, you need to define your principles, and lastly, you need to define your ethical boundaries. So values, these are relative importance of the things that matter in your life. What matters in your life? What values do you have in your life? And what principles guide you? These are a set of standards used in leading others, derived from your values. So, for example, like accountability, trust. Those are examples, some of the values that you can use as standards to guide others. And these principles are then translated into action. Ethical boundaries, the limits placed on your actions based on your standards of ethical behavior. And we know how boundaries are important in life. You need to have some boundaries in life so that you are able to create a space, a safe space for yourself. So ethical boundaries is one component that is very critical in your journey of becoming an authentic leader. So motivation is necessary for leaders to reach the top, and the types of motivation are intrinsic and extrinsic. Intrinsic motivation is the will to succeed by changing oneself from within. It comes from within, it's internal. While extrinsic motivation is the performance that is driven by external rewards. The key here is to find a balance between your desires of external validation and the intrinsic motivations that provide fulfillment in your work. In the corporate world, employees who are only motivated by external rewards do not make great leaders. And these external rewards could be your salary, money, great bonuses. They do not make great leaders. And conversely, employees who are not rewarded for their performance stagnate and lose morale because you are so motivated by these external factors. If you don't get the fat bonus that you expected, your morale goes low, you become disengaged, your performance dwindles, and you are not the person that you used to be. So it's important that in your journey of becoming an authentic leader, you get to understand what drives you or what motivates you. During your journey, it's important that you build a support team. There is no such thing as one man show. So you can't succeed on your own as a leader. You need a team that will support you during your low moments. So without team support, advice, and a strong team, you can lose your relationship with the people who are in your team and eventually lose your own way. And authentic leaders build extraordinary support team. As an authentic leader, you realize that you are not able to do it alone. You are not able to go at it alone. So you need an extraordinary strong team, and hence why you really need to build an extraordinary support team. Then when you have built that extraordinary support team, that they will be able to stay with you as the leader through thick and thin. When times are rough, when things get bad, you can always count on those people who you have helped build up. So you need to, consider things like, how do you build your support team? Authentic leaders have multifaceted support systems. This could be your partner, your spouse, your family, your mentors, your colleagues, people that you work with, people in the community. Leaders, in fact, need people in the thick and thin. You need people when you are happy. You need people when you are sad. You need people when you are succeeding. You need people when you are failing. It starts with at least one person with who you completely trust. So you approach someone, it could be your mentor, and you let them know that, I would want to start working on my authentic leadership journey. How can you best help me build a supporting team? And you take it from there. You engage your team as well, that this is my journey and I want you to be on board, and you start building it from there. There will be that one person that you tell the truth when you have made a mistake, when you have made a major error. This is as someone that you can freely talk to and say, look, I've made a terrible error. Please help me. How do I fix this? And that is one person who is part of your supporting team. As an authentic leader, you need to integrate your life by staying grounded. And what do I mean by that? You need to balance your life between work, family, community, and friends. We have different themes in life. We have your career, you have your finances. If you know the wheel of life, you know what I'm talking about. I don't believe in work and life balance. I believe in just life balance. And from life, you have all those different themes. So you need to find balance between all of those themes in your life and live a balanced life. You need to control your emotions and show your good side in every environment. And this does not mean that you need to shut out your bad emotions. No, you show all of your emotions, whether good or bad, but you just need to know how to control those emotions in any given environment. So consider your life like a house. Bedroom for personal space, family room for family, study room for your professional life, and living room for to share with friends. Question is, can you knock down the walls and be the same person in each one of them? That is a question for you to ask yourself, to consider, to reflect on. Are you the same person in the bedroom? Are you the same person in the family room, in the study room, in your living room? How do you balance all of that? And lastly, you need to empower the people that you lead. You are now leading yourself. You have found your authentic voice. You are building, or you have built, a supporting team. So, how do you empower those people that you have built, around you to support you? Authentic leaders always empower people in their organization to achieve superior results. Remember, as I said, that there is no one man show. You need people around you to act as your pillars and lift you up. So, as an authentic leader, you always have this at the back of your mind, that you need to empower your people. You do not focus on people to follow you. Instead, you inspire and empower people to come up and lead. You don't just look at your own space and say, this is my space, I'm the leader. You need to do what I say I do, what I say you should do, Instead, you inspire the people around you and empower them to come up to your level and lead. And some of these people can even go a level higher than you, and you should be always be proud of that. It shouldn't become a threat. So I want to leave you with this, something that you can apply so that you are able to achieve in your journey of becoming an authentic leader. Identify a mentor who has successfully maneuvered your current life space phase. What can you learn from them? Make a list of the key players in your circle. What can they do to help you find your authentic voice? And how can you help others find their authentic voices? Peel back the layers of the onion. What are your core values? What drives you? What motivates you? In what areas are you vulnerable? Define your leadership principles, translate your values into actions. And after this, how will you start practicing your values? Are you motivated by your current work, where you are right now? Are you motivated by the work that you do? What changes could you make to align your responsibilities with your key drivers? What you're doing now and what motivates you, how do you bring that into alignment? How do you optimize the use of power in leading others? After you've found your authentic self, how are you going to use that power that you have identified in leading others? And how do you respond to powerful people who use their power over you? There are leaders out there who are already authentic, who have already found their authentic voices. How do you respond to such people when they come and use their authentic voices on you? Do you cringe and run into your little corner, or do you feel inspired and want to borrow some of the qualities from them so that you are able to grow in your journey as an authentic leader?
Wow.
So that's it. Thank you so much. I hope you did catch a few important things, and I wish you all the best in your authentic leadership journey.
Oh, thank you so much, Phetso. That was an incredible presentation. So much content, so much detail for us to really just, go back and review and to explore. I think there was just so much value in there. And I know now why I say my heart is my compass, right? That's just always been a saying for me, is because I just, I have intrinsic values and rewards for things rather than extrinsic, and it's very very
Yes,
clear. And that it does make life more joyful, right? Because you're not
absolutely.
constantly striving or expecting, what do I get for this? It just totally
Absolutely.
flips the game, doesn't it? It just suddenly makes you go, yeah, if I hope I add value because I'm enjoying it, I love it, I'm proud of what I've either created or
Mm,
made, or something some way I serve. And then if that adds value, then you get rewarded anyway. It's just
absolutely.
gold,
Yes.
absolute gold nuggets. I'm all about authentic leadership. And I thank you so much for sharing that with us today. That was really, really helpful. And amazing, amazing, amazing.
Thank you, Annie.
It is such a pleasure. So, those of you who are watching around the globe, stay tuned in a minute for our next speaker, who will be Christiana Tudor. She'll be on in around about 20 minutes. So, you've got live feeds coming on and off for 2 days straight. There's 44 different speakers from around the world, and it is just so inspiring. So many little gold nuggets. You can definitely reach out and connect with any of us via the Women's Biz Tribe. And we look forward to seeing you again there very soon. Thank you. ladies, are you dreaming big enough? I want you to dream big and act bigger. You see, I want to have power. I want to be empowered. Suddenly, being empowered is a more positive word, because I want to make sure that I know my own values, my boundaries. I know what I want to achieve in life. Visible and invisible barriers are only a problem if you accept them as such. So a woman with a big dream also needs to have a plan, because without a plan, that dream is just a wish.
I love her confidence, I love her charisma, and her positivity and her brightness and her color and her lessons about life. You know, as a woman who's been through so much, it was really, really inspiring and really interesting.
I had 4 kids in 2 years. I wanted to be a businesswoman. I had no money. I had to think, how is this dream going to happen? If you actually start believing if something's important to you, just back yourself. Back yourself despite what other people say. Successful people are not held back by what other people say.
I would recommend that for everybody, because everybody should have a dream and everybody should back themselves. So I think she's awesome.
Even when it feels like everything's not going to work, they go, you know what? I'm going to make sure that this does work. I'm going to be positive despite, because it brings energy, it brings opportunity. And as soon as you actually get half glass empty, your vision will start failing. I encourage you to start making your dreams a reality in business and in life. Thank you.